Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you very much for having me, and happy holidays.
It has been a very challenging few years for all of us, and voters appreciate your efforts and the governors. Looking forward to another 4 years in office.
We are very thankful to the people who participated in the political process and gave us this real honor and opportunity to serve for another 4 years. And Governor Whitmer and I we take that very seriously, and we look forward to hitting the ground running now with legislative majorities for the Democratic Party in the State House and the State Senate. We're going to get a lot of good things done for the people of Michigan.
Thank you. We want to touch on a few questions today. What are some of your major accomplishments in the past 4 years? Can you tell us briefly most important major accomplishment for you, Lieutenant?
Many important things come to mind. So it's hard for me to choose just a few, but I'll share about three. First thing is I'm really proud of the amount that we've been able to invest in public education. Our administration for 4 years in a row has invested more in public education from kindergarten to 12th grade than in the history of the state of Michigan, 4 years in a row. I'm a product of public schools. The governor's a product of Michigan public schools. My kids go to Detroit public schools. And to be able to have those resources available for those education professionals to prepare our young people in Michigan for success, for jobs, for higher education, that's something we are very proud of, and to do so equitably. And we look to build on that foundation over the next 4 years. I'm also very proud of the work we have done to create jobs and opportunity in Michigan, to help small businesses start and grow, and to attract some of the largest businesses in the world to make key strategic, historic investments in Michigan to create tens of thousands of jobs in the auto sector, but also to build semiconductors and new car batteries for electric vehicles. We are so excited to be building the future here in the state of Michigan the way that we did 100 years ago when we were building the mobility economy from scratch. And so we're proud of what that means. And I'm also proud that we've been able to expand access to childcare in Michigan. This is something that's so critical for families. And I have a 3-year-old that's in early pre-K right now, and being able to have affordable, reliable, convenient access to childcare is really critical. And we've launched some important programs to make more available, to make it more affordable, and in many cases available for free to families across the state of Michigan, which enables people to participate in the economy. Because if you're a parent and you know your kid is safe and well taken care of, you can go do your job with peace of mind.
Absolutely. That's all important projects. You worked on it and achieve a lot on those very important projects. You mentioned creating a new job, Lieutenant. Are you planning to keep the talent in Michigan, the talents in Michigan? That's really good news for us.
Absolutely. This is something that is going to be a key focus of mine in our administration, making sure that the people who we educate and train through our systems, that they see Michigan as the best place to build their future. And also making sure that people from around the country and around the world, they know that Michigan is the best place to come to make something happen. And so we're going to work with our high schools or community colleges and our 4-year universities to ensure that the students know what's possible here in the state of Michigan. We're going to build out our economies, whether that is the high-tech, high-growth economy that I come from in the early part of my career, or whether that's our arts community and the fact that arts are a way to really sustain the economy as well, something we're looking forward to. I had a personal experience with this. When I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2005, I actually left the state of Michigan to pursue my professional career as a software developer. And I was gone for 9 years before I came home. And we're going to do the work to make it so that no one feels they have to make that choice.
Absolutely. So is there any plan to fix the road this time? Many people, many residents still complaining about this years after years, Lieutenant.
You know, we have continued to be committed to making sure that our roads are safe and that we can fix them as fast as possible. And we fixed more than 16,000 lane miles of road in the last 4 years, more than 1,200 bridges that were unsafe, bridges that school buses or ambulances and fire trucks could not drive over because they were so dilapidated and in such poor condition. We have fixed 1,200 of those and are going to continue to fix and see how many more we can fix next year, how many more we can fix over the next 4 years. We also know that we need a real solution to be able to fund and provide the resources to fix our roads in an ongoing way, because they don't stay the same. We have to maintain them and rebuild them in order for them to be fixed. We also need a solution for those local roads. The governor and I and our team has worked to fix as many freeways and state roads as possible. There are other roads that need that attention. And so we're looking forward to working with this legislature to find a way to fix it for real.
How about like helping families during a very tough time? Worldwide, we are struggling from inflation. So any plans to help families, low-income families, sending stimulus checks?
I feel this personally, I have a young family. I go to the grocery store. I see how expensive bananas are. We all need more money in our pockets in this tough moment when things are so expensive. And that is why Governor Whitmer and I were going to work with this new Democratic legislature to have as our first priority putting money in people's pockets. And there's two policies that we want to start with that we think will make a real difference. First is repealing the retirement tax, the tax on people's pension and income that's been in existence in Michigan for the last 10 years, and is taking money out of the people's pockets who have fixed incomes, who worked hard, who were promised to have an amount of money when they retired, and saw the state take that away from them. And so we're going to repeal that to put more money in those people in fixed incomes pockets. The second thing is implementing a working families tax credit. And this working families tax credit is for those people who are working hard, but still need a little bit of help to make ends meet. This is going to put hundreds of dollars back into people's pockets. And when it's going to lift people out of poverty, more than 700,000 households. And that's going to make a difference at this time of things being expensive too, to help us ride through it.
Absolutely. This is a good news for our listeners. Thank you. So moving forward to numbers for the COVID-19, flu, RSV are going up in the state of Michigan. What is the plan to counter the increase?
We continue to pay close attention to what's happening with COVID-19 and some of the other viruses, frankly, that are coming through our communities all across the state of Michigan. And so, one, we are encouraging everyone to use the tools that we have available to us to slow the spread and make sure that people can, even if they get COVID, to get through it. And the first thing to do is to make sure that you are fully vaccinated and fully boosted. These vaccines are very effective, and they make it harder for you to get it. And if you get it, you're more likely to have only a mild case. We want everyone to take advantage of that. I am fully vaccinated and multiple boosted. My children are fully vaccinated and boosted, all three of them. My wife is as well. If this is a really important thing to do, we encourage people to know their status, and they get tested. And there's still COVID tests available for free in many, many places across Metro Detroit and all across the state of Michigan. We encourage people to do so. Those are the tools that are going to help us get through this.
Lieutenant, there is a really shortage right now with the medication. So what are the biggest challenges being experienced this year for young children and families, and how is the state addressing?
We are certainly paying close
attention. We got so many complaints from parents. They really fear for their children. There is a shortage for painkiller, for example.
So we are paying close attention to what's happening for young people. And again, this is personal for me. My youngest daughter is 3 years old, and we're worried about her and her friends and her classmates and her childcare facility. We are looking into everything we can do to make medicines and medication more affordable and more available in the state of Michigan. That goes up to and including things like the work we did last year to initiate a study around whether we can produce insulin in the state of Michigan, something that has become catastrophically expensive for people who depend on it for their lives. And if we can produce it in Michigan to bring that cost down, consistent with the work that the federal government has done to make insulin more affordable, that's going to be a life changer, and it's going to put money in people's pockets again. All across the state of Michigan. And for our parents and our young people, we want kids to be healthy. We want kids to have access to the medicine they need, the vaccines they need. We want families to be able to make the choice to keep their kids healthy and safe. And we're going to continue to pull out all the stops to do that. So if folks have ideas, please send them our way so we can figure out and investigate them about what we should do.
So you mentioned that the state doing so many projects to improve childcare. So some question came to our attention from listeners about programs would you implement to ensure that pregnant women and mothers can stay a little bit more with their newborn kids. Is there any program you can work on within this aspect, Lieutenant?
Well, we think it's really important that families, mothers and fathers, or just whoever, families are able to spend time with their newborn children, and that women who are pregnant and carrying children are able to have access to the best medical care for prenatal and postnatal treatment. And we've put forward record investments to improve access to those services. We also have put forward record investments to be able to deal with the disparities and the fact that pregnant women of color are more likely to have serious complications or pass away from pregnancy-related conditions. And so the Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies initiative is something that we fully funded to be able to address these disparities, and also working in partnership with places like Henry Ford Health System to be able to, again, make sure that women are positioned to have healthy pregnancies and healthy babies. And then also you have the support after you've given birth to be able to be healthy postpartum. We've worked to extend access to Medicaid services for those who are on Medicaid to not end within months of your giving birth, but to have to be extended for a full year, which we think, again, will position women to be healthier and better able to take care of themselves and their new babies. We also have been supportive of policies around paid family leave. So for women who are working, to make sure that their employers can give them the paid time to build that new relationship with their child. That's an important value, I think, for mothers, again, and for those who they're co-parenting with. For folks may know, my youngest daughter, Ruby, was born on Juneteenth in 2019, and I took parental leave to be with her and be with my wife to help our family move into this new phase with the new life that we brought home. And I think it's important for fathers and mothers to be able to do that. And so these are the policies that we support, and we'll look forward to working with the legislature to make sure that we have these kind of family-friendly policies going forward.
Absolutely, thank you. So another final important maybe thing to touch base with you today: how to keep our school safe from gun violence. This is a very important topic. It still continues in our community. And I looked recently at the school shooting, the mass shooting. It is shocking. There were in 2022 only 275 on the ground. This is America, Lieutenant. We cannot keep our children safe going to school. That's really sad. What is the state doing to preventative measures to actively working to keep our school safe?
This is horrific. And, in Michigan, when we saw with the shooting at Oxford High School, that captured the attention of the nation because of the depth of that tragedy. This is a problem. The scourge of gun violence, whether it's in school buildings, on school grounds, or in our streets every day, is absolutely preventable. We can stop gun violence from being the number one cause of death for children in the United States. That is unacceptable. And there are common sense, popular things that we can do and that have been proposed that would make a difference. Making sure that people store their firearms safely and securely in their homes, making sure that people who have been flagged as being dangerous to themselves or others can at least temporarily not have access to a firearm to go and do harm to themselves or others. These are common sense things. Background checks for gun sales and gun transfers. These are the types of things that would make a difference. And also, the governor and I have used the tools in partnership with our public safety professionals and law enforcement. We launched something called Operation Safe Neighborhoods that's working to get illegal guns off of the streets, often the ones that are used in gun crimes. And we've, been able to reclaim almost 300 guns from people who shouldn't have them because they're on parole or probation, and it is illegal for them to have them in their possession. Those are guns that could have been used in the commission of a crime that now won't be, and people are safer because of this. So we're going to continue to look for ways to keep people safe. We've provided record funding to school districts to create plans to safely ensure, to make sure they can ensure safety against gun violence and any other kind of threats to school buildings. And then the districts will have record levels of resources to invest and implement those plans. And we're going to continue to push forward so that safety, the peace of mind that I certainly want when I drop my kids off for school every morning, that every parent wants. You want to know that your kid's going to come home. And that's what we're going to build toward.
How can we help? as a
Stay
community,
engaged.
Lieutenant? How we can help as a community?
I mean, stay engaged. I really appreciate the fact that the community is so powerful and is so dedicated to not only the community's success, but to the state's success, because the role you play in our economy, the role you play in our culture. And we need you to continue to be you and be the best version of you. And as you have ideas about the future and ideas about policies that we can pursue to make life better and to make way for more prosperity, please reach out to our office. Talk to us online. Make sure that we know what's on your mind, so we can then be responsive and deliver that for you in the community.
Any personal wish for New Year, Lieutenant Governor? So to share it with our listeners today.
I mean, I look, my wishes are very simple. I want my wife to be happy and my kids to be healthy. Yeah, and I want that for every family, everyone to hold tight to the people they love and to be there for them and to be present with them. And if we're able to do that every single day, that's going to continue to have Michigan be an amazing place.
Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, thank you so much for the time. And we wish you happy holidays to you and the governor and to your family. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, honor speaking to you today.
Thank you for having me. Happy holidays.